Of course, most recently, both of these guys beat OSM in Hoops 1v1s. So let's see which one of them can win this one. They both beat OSM. Nico actually beat OSM more comfortably than Fairy did. Oh, I forgot to put hoops on. Nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. I definitely didn't do that. I was so stupid. Nobody saw it. It was basically just a little 10-second diversion. No big deal. Look how quick that remake was. Your sub didn't come up. Oh, sorry. Director 2, cheers for the resub. I'm not sure why it didn't show up. If you refresh your stream, maybe you'll have a share button in chat. Possibly. You could try that. But yeah, let's get into Hoops 1v1. Fairy Peak versus Nico. Who do you guys have into this? Can we get N's in chat for Nico and F's in chat for Fairy? Let's see who you guys think is going to come out on top. Nico actually with some fantastic ping here. This is actually the best I've ever seen for him in an East server. Usually he's much higher, but Fairy Peak's got good ping himself as well. So mostly F's in chat, even though Nico is the hoop specialist. Fairy Peak starting off with a decent shot. It's going to come out off the rim though. Good to see Fairy Peak back in the Octane. For some reason, I just love seeing Fairy Peak in the Octane. The first card that I ever watched him play in, and he does have his own like style in it. It's very cool to watch. Like almost a perfect balance of ball chasing and intelligence. Let's see if it works out for him here. Nico's under pressure again. It's Fairy Peak looking for 2-0, and he's going to get 2-0 inside the first 30 seconds. Nico's not even had a look hardly at the ball. Interestingly, Fairy Peak getting a kickoff goal as well. That is surprising because Nico is going to be the one with all the tricks on the kickoff. There he does get one. But of course, the aspect of the game that Fairy Peak should be able to dominate in is his shooting accuracy. Challenges in the midfield. Is Nico going to be able to win with his sneaky strats and his reads of bounces that Fairy Peak might not be familiar with? It's a great save by Fairy to keep Nico scoreless for the moment. Fairy Peak looking pretty jumpy here. Pre-flip tackle will keep him involved though. And now backs up Nico in the midfield, flicking towards a boost. Nico keeps up the pressure. He doesn't have any boost to his name. That's an aggressive challenge. Of course, you could do that in hoops because it's pretty difficult for the other player to score a counter attack. It's not impossible though, and Fairy Peak almost does it. He's going to loop back around with an air roll shot that's on target. Nico forced into the air again. Now Fairy Peak with a rebound. It was on target as well. A couple of great saves by Nico. Little rebound there by Fairy was so deceptive. It looked like he might have just missed his shot, but it was all planned. So he could fly way to the left of the rim and then bounce it back on to the goal. Good speed by Fairy, so efficient. He's chipped it on. He's going to get another touch here just to make it impossible to save. Fairy Peak is looking outstanding so far in game number 1. Just a little bit ahead of Nico every step of the way. There's no way that Nico can keep up with no boost. Yeah, he's too good. I mean, right now, absolutely. Yeah, he had a reverse sweep against OSM in their Hoops 1v1 recently. But it wasn't, I would say, the most confident reverse sweep. It was close games. Nico, double touch on the recovery. And he's going to get on the board just inside the first half of the game. He's done well here. Just casually. It's very gracefully putting it over the goal there. It's the hair. Yeah, maybe Fairy Peak has better vision now that he's got that haircut. Nico's going for more and more fast kickoffs. Just realized that Fairy Peak's trying to go for a more blocking style. That's not a good read though by Nico, something we wouldn't expect to see from him. Fairy Peak's going to try and dunk it in, and he gets the dunk on the end of the air dribble. 4-1. Great offense by Fairy again. This one was a little bit worse from Nico. He can't afford to misread the ball that badly, or he is going to be in a whole world of trouble. Fairy Peak with a kickoff win. Actually dodges late on his shot. He hit the ball before the dodge happened. Nico 36 boost. Try and air dribble one in himself, and he will actually get a goal. Great control by Nico. So he didn't have a lot of boost to play with here, so very all-in move. But he's managed to chop that score lead down a little bit. Mind games continuing in the kickoff. Nico with a bump. FairJame actually botches the landing, but he's still going to be okay. Nico pre-jumps the bounce. Misreads it. FairJame going to try and punish him for that at the other end of the field. It looks like Nico can't keep it out. It wasn't even a rebound by FairJame. It's just bounced in directly. Ceiling came into play, but not too much that Nico didn't have a chance. He should have at least attempted to keep this one out. Once or twice. He's turning around for the bump here, Nico. FairJame manages to avoid him and gets the save. Very last second one from FairJame. Nico off the wall. Tries to place it in the front of the rim, but FairJame's just too quick. That's a great shot. He's going to bounce down. FairJame getting above it. Thought for a second there he was going to try and bump Nico on the back wall, but he's decided to play the ball instead. So the ball is on target in hoops. Bump is such a valuable strategy. We saw that so much in the OSM FairJame series. And thanks to Comics CSH, I don't know how to say that name, but hey, appreciate the 2-month in a row tier 1. Check this out by FairJame. He's just playing so quickly right now. Before the ball has even a chance to bounce back into the midfield, FairJame's already off the back wall to rebound it in. Incredible stuff. 4-goal difference. And if FairJame keeps up this level, I don't know how Nico's going to deal with him. It just looks like he's got like an impossible task defending all these shots that FairJame is taking. Both the goals that Nico scored have been good, but FairJame's had so many more chances. And the quality of shot you're putting onto your opponent's net is as good as the ones that FairJame's been doing. How on earth do you contest it? Inside the final minute now. Awkward touch by FairJame, just wasting more time, and Nico deciding to set up a pinch off the net at the front of the rim. We've seen that from him before. That was not one of his finer efforts. I think actually FairJame should be able to just easily win from this position. He's wasting a lot of time. Nico's not going to have enough to put on 4 shots in the net unless he gets a couple of kickoff goals. I don't think FairJame's going to give him any. Oh, he almost did, in fact. FairJame almost own goaling on the air dribble. Nico puts it in for 3. With 18 seconds left, Nico is going to get one on the board. It's a little bit careless by FairJame. He didn't get that last touch to knock the ball clear of danger. He's left himself with a chance to be embarrassed here. Nico does go over him with a kickoff. I think it's off target though. Great strats by Nico, but the execution just slightly off this time to the right. It's a good plan though, because he knows he needs fast goals. He needs the kickoff goal there if he's going to have any chance to come back from 3 down. So he decides to go for a chip over the top of FairJame's head. But FairJame looking absolutely outstanding in game 1. Few kickoffs that he got outplayed on, but apart from that, it was just too much, really, for Nico to handle at the other end of the field. Will FairJame win this game series? Game series? I don't know, man. Contrary to popular opinion, I don't actually script these series, so I don't know who's going to win. But yeah, let's see if Nico can step it up here in game 2. The good boost grab, he had to lean into it a little bit. Another pinch shot, and you see that it is very possible to score those. FairJame's under a world of trouble here. Nico doesn't get the shots on target. It's stayed away from danger. Low shot by FairJame, and it's going to be on target as well. The mix-up by FairJame still so impressive. Instead of going for a double touch here, or a slow air dribble like Nico might have been expecting, just gets behind the ball and drills it into the backboard. Alright, take care, Lenny. Yeah, I'm going to be heading off after this one as well because it's so late in the UK as well. Wasn't actually planning to cast this series today, but these guys reached out to me. Look at that aerial shot by Nico. Very impressive stuff, but FairJame backs him up into the midfield. I think with 18 boost, Nico's going to have to say goodbye to that opportunity. Made the most of it though, and actually gets a shot on target. FairJame will save it. Another power shot by him, which Nico pops awkwardly into the corner. FairJame's got so much time here to do whatever he wants. 24 boost for Nico. He's going to land in a couple more. Good pad pick up there by the underdog here. Although he might not have been the underdog going into this series, he definitely is now, after seeing how well Fairy played in that last game. That's a great pre-jump save by Fairy. The shot by Nico was well read. Knew exactly how high the ball was going to kick up off the front of the rim. Figured out how to not miss open nets. Have you figured out how to not miss open nets? Because you've been doing your best impression of me lately. Not really, but I did have one theory. It's not tested that much yet because I've not had time to tell people to try it. But when you're shooting on a defended net, you tend to pay more attention to the goal, like where you're shooting. You're looking at the place in the goal that you want to be scoring in when you're shooting, or at least I think most people are. They're like paying very close attention at least to where the goalie is, where they want to be shooting the ball. That's a fantastic shot by Fairy, my goodness. Perfect arc on it. 3-0. But yeah, going back to the open net shot discussion, in contrast rather, when you're shooting an open net, you're not really paying as much attention to the goal. You're just looking at the ball. You're thinking, okay, if I just hit the ball dead center here, then it's a goal. And then you accidentally hit the ball a bit too far off to the side and miss it. No, Fairy Peaks trips on the goalpost, and Nico's going to show everybody how to do a little self-set play in hoops, just using the structure to his advantage there. But yeah, you guys want to go check that out because I'm not 100% sure if this is accurate, but yeah, go give it a go. I was practicing an open net training pack, and I forced myself to stare at the ball only for a good 5 minutes. I was only staring at the ball and trying to score open nets in a training pack, and I was not having a lot of success. Then in the next 5 minutes, I forced myself to stare not just at the ball, but I would look ball and then at the goal, then at the ball, then at the goal, and actually, like, you know, try and pay very close attention to where the goal is, either in my peripheral vision or with my actual vision. I would actually just glance over to it and be like, okay, that's where the goal is, like keep a point of reference. Like when and I found that when I was making more of an active like effort to look at the goal and pay attention to the goal and think, okay, I'm shooting at this part of the goal all the times, I was having a lot more success with my open nets. It was only a training pack and I didn't have time to test it too much, but yeah, it could be something you want to look into if open nets are something you struggle with. I think it, you know, logically it does make sense. Nico with a kickoff goal has brought this back within one. Fairy Peak controlling the ball in the midfield. He's taking lots of shots, says Fairy right now. That's keeping Nico back and away from Fairy Peak's goal because he's forced to defend so much. Missed demo by Fairy. Nico with a double touch attempt. He's missed it. Fairy Peak's there for the rebound. I'm 29, not quite. I'm 28, but yeah, I'll be 29 in March next year. I don't know if I'll look 29. Or I don't know if people are surprised when they hear, or you know, I don't know if I look 28 or if that surprises people. But I still get ID'd for like, I still get ID'd for the most random stuff in shops, which I guess I should be pretty proud of as a 28-year-old. Because I think you're only supposed to be ID'd in stores if you look younger than 25. Even though, like, obviously alcohol in the UK, you have to be 18 to buy it. But now the rules for, or the law for IDing people, checking, you know, asking for their ID, is if they look younger than 25, you ask for their ID to prove that they're 18 or over. That makes sense. I'm old, hey, leave me alone. I'm trying my best here. Unfortunately, despite my best efforts, I continue to age at the exact same rate. That's a great save by Fairy. Nico looking threatening here. This is another solid opportunity for him. He's testing Fairy's goalkeeping, and Fairy Peak is rising to the occasion. Unless Nico can pull something out of the bag late in game 2, it's going to be Fairy Peak ahead by a good margin. This is a great spot for Fairy to be in. Nico can't close the distance for fear of Fairy Peak shooting over him. There would be no chance for Nico to get in the way. Oh, hold on a second though. Nico with a rebound. Ties things up with 7 seconds left. Fairy Peak missed the wall clear, and he could not recover it in time to keep back Nico, who was eyes on the backboard, ready for the equalizer. Johnny's almost as old as John Sandman. How old is John Sandman? I don't know how old John is. But yeah, I'm old, man. I'm old for Rocket League for sure. Rocket League quite a young scene. Right, Nico, demo play. Can he get a shot on target in 0 seconds? It doesn't look like he will. The first touch just wasn't there for the air dribble. Kickoffs in this game have been very tricky for Nico. He goes under Fairy on this one. He's switching it up, over, under, and then blocks occasionally. Backflip flick by Nico. Fairy Peak gets a touch on it. Is it enough? He needs another one, gets it. Double save by Fairy, but it's still Nico posturing aggressively. Fairy Peak in reverse knocks the ball clear. Nico misses the demo on him, and Fairy Peak's going to grab boost. That's a huge relief there for Fairy, who is under tons of pressure. Looks like Nico in this game has had a much better answer to Fairy Peak's ridiculous offense. Big steal coming in for Fairy. Nico's forced up into the air. Fairy Peak can turn on this. Nico with a fake challenge actually gets Fairy to jump though. Even after all that, it's still Fairy coming forward. Shot on net, but Nico with the save. Almost a minute into OT. Fairy gets it past him, and it looks like that's going to be game 2 touches. Fairy Peak air dribbles it in. Nico thought he could get in the way of it. He thought he could catch a piece of the ball, but not only has Fairy hit the ball over him, he gets his car past him safely to the left of the challenge. Really smart play there by Fairy. It would have been easy for him to accidentally jump straight in line with the challenge that was incoming, which would have resulted in him getting slapped straight out the way. Can we get C2v2 hoops again? The plays they made were amazing. Yeah, I'm sure we will in the future. That was definitely a really cool series. I'll have to ask Nico after this, see if he's wanting to organize one of those. Oh, by the way, for all of you watching on Twitch, I will be away all day tomorrow. That's why I'm streaming late today. Because I've got to go to my cousin's wedding in a different city in Scotland. So I'm going to be away all day. But I will be back on Friday with another stream. So just thought I'd give you guys a heads up on that one. Yeah, I don't have any other plans for July. Oh, good save there by Nico. He's started strong here in game 3. Yeah, like I said, I don't have any other plans for July. So after this, I'll probably just be on that stream grind for the rest of the month. Fairy Peak saving his own shot there. He's decided it was going to be way too easy for Nico to deal with anyway, so there's no point going for it. Fairy Peak having to abort that ball chase mission because Nico is ready and waiting. Fly as heck outfit sorted. I'm just going to be wearing a suit. Great save by Nico. The defense in this game has been outstanding for him inside the first minute. Fairy Peak up in the pressure though. He wants early challenges, trying to win this game with speed and mechanics, which of course he does have the edge in quite clearly. Nico's still a Grand Champ 1's player himself, so even though he's nothing close to Fairy Peak, but I mean, who is, except Flakes and maybe Ixo, a handful of others these days. Yeah, Nico's still no slouch in the 1's game himself. Fairy Peak can have a bit of time to save this shot because Nico trips on the goalpost on the way out, but he's back for the save again over his neck. Great stuff by Nico. Still not done, despite being 2-0. On the wrong end of a 2-0, I should say. Fairy Peak thinking of a ceiling challenge. Gets a really good angle, actually. It's bouncing on target, but it will make contact with the rim, not before Nico stops it. And Nico off the wall. Good position for him. He's gone a bit too far to the left of the ball, though. There's no way to put it on target from that position. He's beamed his flick a little bit. Fairy Peak with a low shot. It's grazed the crossbar, and it's going to bounce in, actually. It just clipped the rim on the way in, and you thought maybe, just maybe, that'll give Nico the time he needs to get back. And it did, but unfortunately Nico couldn't read it. He was not expecting the rim to come into play. Nico's dunk kickoff just got, or Nico's fast kickoff rather, just got ruined by Fairy. He's got a single bump onto Nico as he's leaving the box, and a cheeky chip into the sidewall. Nico catches Fairy on the takeoff. Crucial that he did, because Fairy Peak was going to be trying to air dribble an open net. Awkward takeoff position, so I don't know if it would have been guaranteed to be a goal. Still, very smart play in defense by Nico. Half time here in game 3. Very big still. Triple match point. We'll get the mid boost. An effortless chip shot. 2-1 Fairy. And he makes it look easy for this one. Just dodges into position and catches the ball so perfectly on the bounce. And even if it did go higher, he was going to be there for the rebound very easily. Don't think I've ever asked this, but does any of your family watch your stream? Or know that you stream? Yeah, excuse me, sorry, it's like 2 in the morning over here, so excuse me for yawning. But yeah, my family do know that I stream. They occasionally tune in. I don't think any of them like watch regularly. But yeah, my mum, dad, and my other brother, who's not the one who edits my YouTube videos, they all, I'm sure, tune in at some point. I think my YouTube is a place that like my relatives would usually go to if they wanted to see something of mine, because YouTube is just always available. You don't need to catch it when it's live, you know. So yeah, YouTube. Also because YouTube's just so much more mainstream than Twitch. Twitch is very new to a lot of people who aren't gamers, at least, or who haven't been gamers. Good vision by Fairy. The flick is going to be tame though, and Nico swats it clear. He's up by 1 after some good work near Fairy's goal. That shot by Fairy though is also awkward for him to deal with. He's done well.
Would you say that Fairy is still the
for a dunk on the air dribble?
In ones even with his recent
but not
lack
enough.
of playing the gamma mode / losses? Seems like he's getting back into form with our LCS being over.
I think Fairy's still a goat at ones. I would say it's either him or Scrubkill. I mean, Scrubkill has won both 12 Titans and the Manfield Night 5K. Like, they're the 3 biggest 1v1 events that have happened. Scrub won all of them. So, I guess there, you know, maybe there's been other big 1v1 events that I'm forgetting, but yeah, Scrub, like, having those wins and also being dominant in ones before Fairy Peak even came along probably makes him still have a still have a shout for being the GOAT. Also, some more good saves by Nico in the tail end of this game. He's just 40 seconds and change away from getting a game win this series. Slaps Fairy Peak into the back wall. Using that golden spot where it's so difficult to challenge, because if you do decide to challenge from the goal there, driving underneath that rim leaves you so out of position to defend against shots over the rim. Of course, if you don't challenge, the player who's already got the lead doesn't need to do anything. Oh, Fairy Peak will be wishing he side flipped there. Would have been so much better of a flick than the old-fashioned front flip. Just 10 seconds left now. Fairy Peak knows he has to do something. He's just diving in, hoping for the best. Nico with a fake challenge backs him up. And I don't know if Fairy Peak is going to be able to keep this one up. In fact, it is going to go grounded. So 2-1. Nico gets 1 game in the series. Will he get more? Scrub winning the 2 12 Titans before Fairy hit his peak. Well, actually, when Scrub beat Fairy in the 12 Titans Year 2 Grand Final, Fairy Peak already at that point had a great record against Scrub. Like, almost immaculate record against Scrub in series. So Fairy Peak was, on paper, the favourite there. But Scrubkill has popped off. And again, the first time that Scrub ever beat Fairy Peak in a series was the Manfield Night 5K Grand Final. So he won when it mattered most. Like, I think that alone, you know, the 2 wins against Fairy Peak in finals of the biggest 1v1 tournaments, it is enough to give Scrub a really good shout for being the GOAT, alongside the fact that he was the best for a long time. He was just the best 1v1 player for a really long period of time, no questions asked. Really smart play here by Nico, but Fairy Peak still manages to keep it out. It's up against some very technical hoops play. It's not just winning this one based on mechanics. Fairy Peak is playing a smart game too. Oh, Nico, he's actually had 2 rims deny him that goal. And shot going to come back into the middle, but Fairy Peak's there for the save and the boost grab at the other end. Starting an air dribble of his own. It's going to be a low one though, so Fairy Peak has to just deflect it into the ground. Yeah, Scrub, Fairy, they're my 2 top 1v1 players. They're the GOATs. Greatest of all times. But yeah, they're the 2. It's hard to pick between them. I'm sure some people would go Fairy, some people would go Scrub. More interesting question would be, who is the third best 1v1 player of all time? I'll pose that question to you guys in Twitch chat. Who do you guys think is the third best 1v1 player of all time? It's pretty obvious that Scrub and Fairy are the two best, in my opinion. Flakes. I wouldn't put Flakes as the third best ones player of all time. Devo, Alpha, First Killer, K-Dot, Ixo, Cux, Marky, Leth. Yeah, I think Lethamir's got a good shout because he won a couple of big 1v1 tournaments on my stream a while back. Oh dear, Fairy Peak's actually just going to give Nico the win here, or the lead rather. With a complete whiff on the ball. He got way too high there on his wall shot. Yeah, I think a lot of people in chat are probably either giving recent results more weighting. We're talking all time. You have to look at all of the 1v1 results, every 1v1 season, all the big matches, all the big tournaments, and weigh them all up. But yeah, Cux definitely, he's in the conversation, there's no doubt. 6th place in the MN 5K, not awful. And for a while it was like Scrub and Cux were the two best 1v1 players for a long time. Of course, Cux was also a beast way back at the beginning of Rocket League. He was like top 3 maybe. So he's been up there for a long time. Nico actually up 3-1 here. Fairy Peak's struggling to deal with him now. I don't know exactly where this came from because it looked comfortable for Fairy. He was just handling Nico mechanically, pretty much. Oh, a little bit of a fortunate goal there by Fairy. Great landing by him on top of Nico. It looks like Nico might have taken a must have taken a knock there from Fairy on the drive-by because he wasn't in position for the pretty easy doink save. IG Matt, thanks for the 7-month tier 1. Welcome back. Glad you're enjoying the streams. Tab is in tiers for 12 months prime also. It's almost a 2-goal lead for Nico again, but some nice little wiggles in defense for Fairy. Keeps the ball out of the net and him away from the rims. Where do I rate OSM? I don't know. I've got to go. I would have to go give this some thought, and I actually do want to do that either later this week or weekend, or possibly next week. Fairy Peak almost equalizing there with a wall shot. Actually, 2 wall shots coming off the rim, one at either end. Is Nico going to punish him? Not yet. Fairy Peak actually gets a great save. This is exactly what he wants. He's slow playing now. That's interesting. He's not confident in that quick snapshot like we saw him earlier. Like pops, and I really don't think that's going to trouble Nico too much. He's ready and waiting in the goal. It's these quicker plays that Nico seems to have more trouble with. Very big, surely scoring here. Nico has nowhere to go. Full coverage by Fairy after he air dribbles. 3-all. He's still on track to taking this in 4. Who did the haircut better, Fairy or Over Zero? Remains to be seen, because obviously Over Zero's team got pretty trash after he got his haircut. Maybe Vitality are going to be trash now. We'll have to wait and see. Today though, Fairy Peak's looking very, very good, must say. This is not his main game mode, and he's up against the rank 1 hoops player, albeit 2v2 player. You know, that is his speciality, 2v2 hoops, although he's insanely good at 1s hoops as well. Fairy Peak's mechanics and intelligence are making it very difficult for him. Another great shot. It's just grazed the rim again, and Fairy Peak looking like deja vu for Nico. Fairy Peak perfectly hits this shot. Nico just can't read that bounce. That's one of the shots that's so difficult for him to read. Is he going to get anything on the kickoff? Fairy Peak with just a simple flip reset landing there so that he can wave dash recovery as soon as he does hit the ground. Nico steps in for the demo. He's 40 seconds to tie this one up. This is a good setup, but he's hit the ball a little bit too far. Fairy Peak spawns and gets in the way. Still awkward for Fairy. Looks like Nico wanted a bump and he just overran it a little bit. Now he's forced into a couple of saves that are very awkward, but Fairy again gives Nico a chance and not intended. Nico has not taken it. He's misread that bounce. Fairy Peak is going to give him another chance though. He's committing so much to these shots and Nico can't put the ball in the back of the net. When Fairy Peak is dead and respawning, I don't know if he's going to get another realistic chance. Fairy Peak is staying with this one. All he has to do is hit the ball into the ground and he's won the series, and I think it's actually to go into Nico's goal, off an own goal. So Fairy Peak will win this. Nico had his chances at the end here, but he just couldn't take them. Fairy Peak playing as well as he did today was just a little bit too much for the Hoops god. But GG's, some really interesting games there. Very, very cool to watch. Fairy Peak agrees. And Nico says shout out to Coco. So there you go. Big shout out to you. Not surprised. Well, I mean, this is one of those series that pretty much nothing would surprise me. If Fairy Peak comes in here and flops around for 3 games and loses 3-0, I would be like, happens. It's Hoops. If he comes in and goes beast mode, that also isn't surprising because it's Fairy Peak. You know, nothing really would be too surprising here. But the result is still very impressive for Fairy. I think that Nico's still rank 1 Hoops, yeah, by quite a long way actually. Wolf, his teammate that played on stream with him against Torment and Lethamyr way back, still in rank 2. These guys are the men to beat in 2v2 Hoops, which somebody actually suggested that earlier, and I agree, it would be a very, very fun one to look into. Scrub winning the 2-12 Titans before Fairy hit his peak. Well, actually, when Scrub beat Fairy in the 12 Titans Year 2 Grand Final, Fairy Peak already at that point had a great record against Scrub. Like almost immaculate record against Scrub in series. So Fairy Peak was on paper the favourite there. But Scrub Killer just popped off. And again, the first time that Scrub ever beat Fairy Peak in a series was the Manfield Night 5K Grand Final. So he won when it mattered most. Like, I think that alone, you know, the 2 wins against Fairy Peak in finals of the biggest 1v1 tournaments, it is enough to give Scrub a really good shout for being the GOAT, alongside the fact that he was the best for a long time. He was just the best 1v1 player for a really long period of time, no questions asked. Really smart play here by Nico, but Fairy Peak still manages to keep it out. It's up against some very technical Hoops play. It's not just winning this one based on mechanics. Fairy Peak is in a smart game too. Oh, Nico, he's actually had 2 rims deny him that goal. And shot gonna come back into the middle, but Fairy Peak's there for the save and the boost grab at the other end. Starting an air dribble of his own. It's gonna be a low one though, so Fairy Peak has to just deflect it into the ground. Yeah, Scrub Fairy, they're my 2 top 1v1 players. They're the GOATs. Greatest of all times. But yeah, they're the 2. It's hard to pick between them. I'm sure some people would go Fairy, some people would go Scrub. More interesting question would be, who is the 3rd best 1v1 player of all time? I'll pose that question to you guys in Twitch chat. Who do you guys think is the 3rd best 1v1 player of all time? It's pretty obvious that Scrub and Fairy are the 2 best, in my opinion. Flakes. I wouldn't put Flakes as the 3rd best 1 player of all time. Devo, Alpha, First Skiller, K-Dot, Ixo, Cux, Marky, Leth. Yeah, I think Lethamyr's got a good shout because he won a couple of big 1v1 tournaments on my stream a while back. Oh dear, Fairy Peak's actually just going to give Nico the win here, or the lead rather. With a complete whiff on the ball. He got way too high there on his wall shot. Yeah, I think a lot of people in chat are probably either giving recent results more weighting. We're talking all time. You have to look at all of the 1v1 results, every 1v1 season, all the big matches, all the big tournaments, and weigh them all up. But yeah, Cux definitely, he's in the conversation, there's no doubt. 6th place in the MN 5K. Not awful. And for a while it was like Scrub and Cux were the 2 best 1v1 players for a long time. Of course, Cux was also a beast way back at the beginning of Rocket League. He was like top 3 maybe. So he's been up there for a long time. Nico actually up 3-1 here. FairJame's struggling to deal with him now. I don't know exactly where this came from because it looked comfortable for Fairy. He was just handling Nico mechanically, pretty much. Oh, a little bit of a fortunate goal there by Fairy. Great landing by him on top of Nico. It looks like Nico might have taken a must have taken a knock there from Fairy on the drive-by because he wasn't in position for the pretty easy doink save. IG Matt, thanks for the 7-month tier 1. Welcome back. Glad you're enjoying the streams. Tab is in tier 12 months prime also. It's almost a 2-goal lead for Nico again, but some nice little wiggles in defense for Fairy. Keeps the ball out of the net and him away from the rims. Where do I rate OSM? I don't know. I've got to go. I would have to go give this some thought, and I actually do want to do that either later this week or weekend, or possibly next week. FairJame almost equalizing there with a wall shot. Actually, 2 wall shots coming off the rim, one at either end. Is Nico going to punish him? Not yet. FairJame actually gets a great save. This is exactly what he wants. He's slow playing now. That's interesting. He's not confident in that quick snapshot like we saw him earlier. Like pops, and I really don't think that's going to trouble Nico too much. He's ready and waiting in the goal. It's these quicker plays that Nico seems to have more trouble with. Very big, surely scoring here. Nico has nowhere to go. Full coverage by Fairy after he air dribbles. 3-all. He's still on track to taking this in 4. Who did the haircut better, Fairy or Overzero? Remains to be seen, because obviously Overzero's team got pretty trash after he got his haircut. Maybe Vitality are going to be trash now. We'll have to wait and see. Today though, FairJame's looking very, very good, must say. This is not his main game mode, and he's up against the rank 1 hoops player, albeit 2v2 player. You know, that is his speciality, 2v2 hoops, although he's insanely good at 1s hoops as well. FairJame's mechanics and intelligence are making it very difficult for him. Another great shot. It's just grazed the rim again. And FairJame looking like deja vu for Nico. FairJame perfectly hits this shot. Nico just can't read that bounce. That's one of the shots that's so difficult for him to read. Is he going to get anything on the kickoff? FairJame with just a simple flip reset landing there so that he can wave dash recovery as soon as he does hit the ground. Nico steps in for the demo. He's got 40 seconds to tie this one up. This is a good setup, but he's hit the ball a little bit too far. FairJame spawns and gets in the way. Still awkward for Fairy. Looks like Nico wanted a bump and he just overran it a little bit. Now he's forced into a couple of saves that are very awkward, but Fairy again gives Nico a chance, and not intended. Nico has not taken it. He's misread that bounce. FairJame is going to give him another chance though. He's committing so much to these shots, and Nico can't put the ball in the back of the net. When FairJame is dead and respawning, I don't know if he's going to get another realistic chance. FairJame is staying with this one. All he has to do is hit the ball into the ground, and he's won the series. And I think it's actually to go into Nico's goal, off an own goal. FairJame will win this. Nico had his chances at the end here, but he just couldn't take them. FairJame playing as well as he did today was just a little bit too much for the hoops god. But GG's, some really interesting games there. Very, very cool to watch. FairJame agrees. And Nico says shout out to Coco. So there you go. Big shout out to you. Not surprised. Well, I mean, this is one of those series that pretty much nothing would surprise me. If FairJame comes in here and flops around for 3 games and loses 3-0, I would be like, happens. It's hoops. If he comes in and goes beast mode, that also isn't surprising because it's FairJame. You know, nothing really would be too surprising here.